Hello, mind readers. This is Cliff from the Cliff Goes Live show, and today we will be reading a segment of the Brothers Karamazov by Fyodor Dostoevsky. Because I've been reading this lately for the past while. This is what I'm reading. This is one of the things I'm reading. So, oh, god damn, I should have closed that door. Fuck. I'm gonna it's so unprofessional. Oh my god. Leaf blower just flew over. There we go. I think that was just the guy from one of the Asian restaurants. It was, might have been Korean, might have been Asian. Or, I mean, might have been Chinese, or I think it's usually the Chinese guy that rolls that garbage can down there. So this is fairly embarrassing. Like, you had to know there was going to be some distractions. Just being, that's the nature of Cliff. So if the fan is loud at some point, or is it loud right now, that's unfortunate. But I'm not going to do it over. This is what it is. It's fucking hot in this room. And now I got the fucking goddamn door closed because people were fucking throwing out fucking 60 pounds of food no one ate every day. You should fucking see it. It's disgusting. Alright. Yes. So, The Brothers Karamazov by Fyodor Dostoevsky. I imagine it is pronounced Karamazov. I don't see how else you could pronounce that and have it not sound nearly as slick and like Karamazov. It's got to be Karamazov. Karamazov? No, it's Karamazov. And if it isn't, it fucking should be. And I bet most people pronounce it that way, anyways. And this is a Penguin Classics edition, a fine Penguin Classics edition, because Penguin Classics are fine editions, and fine edition for a fine man, which is me, Cliff. All right, so I've been into this for quite some time, maybe a month or so. It is a long novel. I am at page 279, book 4, which is titled Pro and Contra, and the chapter 1 of book 4, because this is again a massive novel, so it's got several books contained within it. So chapter 1 of book 4, and this chapter is called A Betrothal. Alright. Mrs. Koklakova, there's a lot of Russian names. Usually takes me two or three times to correctly pronounce them out loud. Readers aside. Some of these names often, if I'm trying to say them out loud, definitely usually takes me 2 or 3 times, for whatever reason. Probably just because I tend to mumble and not really articulate things very well, and you kind of need good articulation with Russian names. A lot of harsh syllables, or just like there's like hard. It's like Koklakova, you know what I mean? There's like those are defined syllables, so you need to pronounce and articulate, and I don't do that very well. So anyways, back to the reading. Sorry about that. And the readers aside, Mrs. Koklakova again met Alyosha before anyone else did. She was in a hurry. Something important had happened. Katerina Ivanovna's hysterics had ended in a swoon, whereupon there had set in a dreadful, fearful asthenia. She lay down, turned up her eyes, and began to rave. Readers aside, there's actually a note here for that word asthenia. Asthenia. It's the second time I've fucking seen that in this book. I remember it specifically because asthenia, I think it's A-S, it's just a hard thing to pronounce, asthenia, Enia. Asthenia. Like, even the fucking English translation sounds fucking Russian. Okay, so, I'm at the back of the book now, just checking the notes. I do generally like to get the notes, unless I pretty much understand the context of something. I don't really give a shit. But I have no idea what that word really means. And unfortunately, I do prefer when the notes are actually like footnotes at the bottom of the page, and not at the back of the freaking book like this, which I gotta say is kind of a mark against the Penguin Classics here right now. I don't know if they're always like this. I can't quite recall, but like having the notes at the back of what is already a massive book, kind of annoying. The book's huge. Could you not just put the notes on the fucking page? Anyways. There we go. Asthenia. In Russian, slabost. Weakness. Oh, I see. But used by Dostoevsky here as a medical term. Interesting. So let's return. Let's start that sentence over. And to read this aside. Katerina Ivanovna's hysterics had ended in a swoon, whereupon there had set in, quote, a dreadful, fearful asthenia. She lay down, turned up her eyes, and began to rave. Now she has a fever. We've sent for Herzenstube. Oh my God. Herzenstube. We've sent for her aunts. Her aunts are here now, but Herzenstube hasn't showed up yet. Everyone is sitting, waiting in her room. Something is going to happen, for she has lost consciousness. Oh, what if it's brain fever? End quote. Was that what? How was that all a quote? What the fuck was that? Sorry, readers aside. Sorry for doing that. I intend to clean up my readers aside here. But I have nothing. Okay, this was all something that Mrs. Koklakova had told Alyosha. Okay, whatever. Am I really going to say quote for every time? Just fucking figure it out. If it sounds like, if it's okay, just you can figure it out, right? Unless it's like a special, like a occasion where it's like a a word's being like highlighted or some shit, or I'm not always going to. You're going to have to figure some shit out. And honestly, I'm not going to read that much longer because how long is this going on? 8 minutes. And I've honestly read one paragraph. I should have known. This is how it was going to go. This is not the first time I've done this. It's the first time in not even the first time in a while. I guess I've done a couple video sort of I've done this on video a couple times, and feel actually like I do better on the video with like staying on track, and yet I don't feel nearly as comfortable, probably because I tend to feel comfortable rambling like this. That was just a sudden realization as I rambled. Interesting. Alright, so just gonna dive right back into it. And to read this aside. As she exclaimed this, Mrs. Koklakova had about her an air of serious alarm. It's serious, she kept adding at every turn. Readers aside. Now you see there how I didn't say quote end quote, because I kind of I sort of got into character for you there. Did you notice that? Like a little bit? That's how it's fucking done. And so because you noticed it, good for you too. If you didn't, fucking pull up your shit or your socks or something, to just fucking listen better, because that was good. So end to readers aside. Readers aside. I'm sorry. I should have waited till I got to the end of the sentence to make all those kind of interjections that I just did, praising myself. because then I was going to come back in at the end of that reader's aside halfway through a sentence. I've just noticed in that it would have been hard to follow. So this is embarrassing. Again, I'm going to have to start that sentence over. So this should just give you another opportunity to kind of hear that example, I guess. Yeah, whatever. At a slow crawl, we're going here. End of reader's aside. As she exclaimed this, Mrs. Koklakova had about her an air of serious alarm. "It's serious, serious," she kept adding at every turn, as though all that had happened to her previously were lacking in seriousness. Readers aside. I feel like I should also add at this juncture that I am massively chuffed, and I tend to have trouble with pacing when I'm reading out loud when I'm chuffed. It's just it's a little. I'm just massively chuffed, right? I'm quite high, so it's like I don't read as fluidly out loud, probably even in my head as I normally do. So if it sounds like that, if it sounds unnatural, it's not really that it's unnatural. It's just that I'm massively chuffed, and I'm just massively naturally chuffed. Most of the time, naturally now. Well, not naturally, but I guess not. I guess it's not natural. But what I mean is, I'm not sure what I meant by that. All right. End of reader's aside. Alyosha heard her through with sorrow. He began to give her an account of his adventures too, but at his very first words she interrupted him. She had no time. She wanted him to sit with Lizzie, and with Lizzie to wait for her. She wanted him to sit with Lizzie, and with Lizzie to wait for her. And Lizzie, dearest Alexei Fyodorovich, she whispered almost into his ear. Lizzie astonished me just now most strangely. But what she said also touched me, and therefore my heart forgives her everything. I imagine no sooner had you left than she suddenly began to repent sincerely of having laughed at you today and yesterday. You see, she wasn't laughing. It was merely a joke she was playing. But she repented so seriously, almost to the point of tears, that I was astonished. Never in all the times that she has laughed at me has she ever repented seriously, but has always done so in fun. And you know, she laughs at me every minute of the day. Yet now she was acting seriously. Now it was all serious. She values your opinion extremely, Alexei Fyodorovich. And please, if you are able, I do not take offense at her, nor harbor any grudge against her. I myself am constantly being lenient, as she is such a clever little thing. Wouldn't you credit it? Would you credit it? You decide. That must just be some kind of expression. Would you credit it? I myself am constantly being lenient, as she is such a clever little thing. Would you credit it? Sure, it's just some kind of would you credit? I think she's basically just asking, like, would like, do you agree, or do you think that's you know, it's something else I just wanted to touch on about a couple sentences ago or something, is I've noticed this must have been a cultural thing for whatever reason, as people in Russia in the mid-1800s seem to address everyone else they come into contact with by their full first and middle name, literally almost every single time, except for, however, with your closest associates or like your closest friends and relatives, family, whatever. There also does seem to be a more familiar name, like a Alexei Fyodorovich is also Alyosha, but more formally he's Alexei Fyodorovich. But that formal name gets said a fuck of a lot. Like some people, if they're not like his brothers or some shit like that, they'll say Alexei Fyodorovich every time they address him. Seems kind of odd. You just I don't. I would like to see that in action. Like I obviously it was done that way. Why else would the guy write it that way? It's just it's just interesting, I guess. Anyways, all right. So end of Reader's Aside. I know this is going for a while. I'm sorry. End of Reader's Aside. She said just now that you were the friend of her childhood. What? The friend of her the most serious friend of my childhood. Oh my God, this is kind of fucking convoluted. Reader's Aside. I know I said I was just gonna let you figure it out, but I've been kind of cutting in with so many notes here that it's really kind of cutting up the flow of the text. So like that last sentence, like just for example here of how difficult this is to kind of convey. That last sentence, she said just now that you were the friend of her childhood. The most serious friend of my childhood. See, now that's Lizzie. That's Mrs. Koklakova now quoting Lizzie. So was I supposed to try to voice Mrs. Koklakova how she would voice Lizzie, who is, I believe, her daughter? Definitely her daughter. Would anyone pick up on it if I did that? I wonder how the pros would do that. That is an interesting problem to have right there. Never fucking came across that before, in either doing one of these attempted partial audiobooks, and you know what? I think that's going to have to be. I think we're stumped. I'm not even going to finish that sentence. I think on that note, it's a good note to end on for today, because it's just kind of an interesting quandary that happened, and sometimes it's really not what we're reading. It's more of it's not so much the story of what we're reading. It's the act of the reading itself that kind of makes something memorable. I think it's just memorable because I'm recording because I'm Cliff and we're on record and we're doing this, and so I'm talking more about it. So that's memorable, or what would be more memorable? A good book is a good book, and that's a good thing. And so this has been a good book. I would like to just get back to reading it for real. This was a horrible waste of time, and yet very illuminating, and I think actually in long run well worth it. But only in the long run, which is something that is kind of out of definition right now. It's out of definition right now. It can't be properly brought back into the definition. And so we'll be saying good night, and I hope you enjoyed this, and you've been supplied.